Hello everyone. Today we're talking about Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson is one of the most successful and most influential persons in the world of business. He is known all over the world for his significant contributions in the economy and innovations. He was born on 18th July 1950 in Surrey, England. His father is Mr. Edward James Branson, who was a barrister. His mother is Eve Branson, who was a flight attendant. At a young age, Branson struggled with dyslexia, making his school life harder for him. In fact, he almost failed out of his school, an all-boys institution which he attended until he was 13 years old. After that, he attended Stowaway School in Buckinghamshire, England. Branson started displaying his leadership prowess at the early age of 16. He dropped out of high school and went on to start a youth-oriented magazine called Student in 1966. In its first edition, Branson's publications sold 8,000 worth of ads. 3 years later, while living in a London commune, Richard started a company called Virgin, which offered mail order records to obtain funds for his magazine. This record company performed well enough to let a self-made billionaire expand his venture. Branson then built a recording studio in 1972 in Oxfordshire. Today, Branson is known for being an icon and adventurer. He has built an empire of 400 companies under the Virgin Group, which includes a bank, bridal wear, mobile phones, pension plans, music, hotel chain, and airlines. His company is one of the most recognized and respected brands in the world. He was also listed as one of the Forbes eligible billionaires in 2012. In the United Kingdom, he ranks sixth in the richest citizen with a net worth of £4.6 billion. What makes this amazing man so inspirational is that he was a high school dropout, yet he turned himself into a billionaire after 40 years of hard work, determination, and perseverance.
Branson is a rule breaker, a transformational leader that sees himself as an individual who works with employees to identify the needed change, creating a vision to guide the change through inspiration and executing the change in tandem with committed members of the group. He said, and I quote, "I never learned the rules in the first place. To change the game is at the center of what Virgin stands for. So the company's culture has always been, don't sweat it. Rules are meant to be broken." Branson's Virgin Group is considered the only brand that transcends such wide areas of product and services. And despite that, his brand has become stronger rather than diluted. This is why many people look up to him, not only for his lavish lifestyle, but also for being a dynamic and symbolic entrepreneur with multi-colors ideas of ads, innovative strategy, and a very cheeky attitude. But most of all, he is admired for his leadership style, with an aim to help create great leaders in any kind of workplace. Although he might have had his fair share of failures along the way, what makes him incredibly admirable is his determination to come out of. Here is a quick interview with our transformational leader, Richard Branson.
I am dyslexic, and obviously I was dyslexic when I was at school, and unless I was sitting next to somebody who wrote big, I was hopeless in my exams. And I think that applies to a lot of dyslexics, is you excel at things you can do, and you maybe find other people to do the things you can't do. I did not know the difference between net and gross until I was 50 years old. A very amusing board meeting where I was asking, is that good news or is that bad news, when they told me some figures, and one of the directors took me outside the board meeting and they got a blank piece of paper out and they penciled in a net in the ocean, and they put some fish in the net, and they said, "Richard, that the fish that are in the net, that's your profit at the end of the year." And then they penciled in the sea, and that's your turnover, everything that's left over. And I got it, and then I thought, I'm not making as much money as I thought. I thought it was the other way around. But by then, I had the biggest group of private companies in Europe, and it didn't actually matter whether I understood these things. I mean, what matters in business is, can you create an airline that people actually want to fly on? And that's what I'm good at. And so figures, you don't need to be able to know the difference between gross and net to be able to build a Virgin.
So what makes Richard Branson a successful leader? First off, his personality is fun, warm, and friendly. He's a risk taker, an adventurer, and an opportunist. He's very competitive. He's a hard negotiator and a workaholic. So according to the traits theory of leadership, all these traits give him an advantage to succeed as a good leader. And further to this, Branson maintains healthy leader membership relationships with all his people. He treats his employees as equals and with great respect. He gives his staff the freedom to be creative, and he strongly believes in delegation. So to support this, Branson believes that his organization structure should be established with not too many procedures on how things should be done, but rather he would rather prefer a flat, non-hierarchical structure with small clusters of people. This gives his staff the freedom to work without much interference from supervisors, and it also helps Branson's successful leadership style be more democratic and participative in nature. So this structure empowers his staff, and it also helps his brand to be a great success. A quote from Branson, he says, "No one can be successful alone, and you cannot be a great leader without great people to lead." This quote shows how strongly Branson believes in his people and how his success has been built around it. He has always made it a priority to give the right people, to find the right people, and to give them the support that they need to grow beyond their expectations. He's a great leader who brings out the best in his team, and he genuinely cares and is interested in people. Branson also welcomes feedback and support and suggestions from his employees. This helps them to feel important, and it also creates an innovative environment to grow from. His leadership style really does boil down to caring for his employees. Branson is people-oriented as well, as we've seen, and he genuinely praises his employees and helps those people to flourish. Furthermore, he promotes from within his company and celebrates their successes. This also shows that he has great trust in his people, and this makes them feel more confident in their respective tasks.
What makes Richard Branson one of the most successful leaders in the world? One thing that makes him a fantastic leader and an inspiration is that his strong contingency and situational leadership qualities. He proactively looks for opportunities and takes every possible chance to create a new company that's viable. He has mastered the skills of controlling situation and using technique that fits the situation with the context. He is also proving himself that he has the ability to implement changes immediately. Let me share you one of his successful business plan, Virgin Airlines. The idea goes like this. He wanted to go to Virgin Island to meet his girlfriend. The flight got cancelled. The only option available was to charter a private plane. He didn't have enough money. Suddenly an idea clicked his mind. He stood up and wrote on the blackboard, Virgin Airlines for $29, started selling tickets and collected some money and chartered the private plane. He helped everyone to reach to Virgin Island on the name of Virgin Airlines. This idea was later on converted into real business, and today we all know Virgin Airlines is one of the leading airlines in the world. This example shows that successful people start before they feel ready. They don't wait for the perfect time to arrive. Richard Branson lives one such life with one motto, screw it, let's just do it. He believes that don't waste your time for getting prepared for the situation, rather than jump into the situation and act accordingly. Because he feels that successful people take off easily. They believe in learning while doing concept. Richard Branson also believed in one such concept called learning from failure. His business, Virgin Cola, when entered in the market where Coca-Cola was already a market leader, failed. Here he learned that his product was not different, and also customers were anyways happy with the prices Coca-Cola was offering. Such failures and mistakes doesn't stop him from taking risks. It makes him more experienced to handle different situations. Branson is a transformational leader. He has the ability to adapt to changes in organizational culture. This can be evident by the fact that he has bought new firms, transferred to new location with his staff. What makes him transformational leader is that he rises from the time of distress and major changes. This style also reflects the social values. His business, Virgin, focuses more on growth and adaptability to change, where his style of transformational leadership works the best. Richard Branson believes in employees' interest first because he feels that this not only inspires them but also motivates them to work and feel at home as a member of Virgin household.